How's it going, YouTube? I'm Mr. Normac, coming at you with my first ever top 10. Now, what's my first top 10 going to be about? Well, I'm counting down the top 10 characters in video games I think are badasses. And keep in mind this video is all opinion based, so if I don't have a character you think should be on this list, well, tough shit, buddy. Make your own list. This video is going to be split into two parts because, well, I'm lazy. With that said, let's get into the list, shall we?
Number 10, Batman. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, Mr. Normac, Batman's a comic book character. How can he be on a top 10 about games? Well, if you've been living under a rock for several years, you might not have heard about the Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City games, developed by Rocksteady and published by Warner Bros. Interactive. Two of the best comic book related games in recent years. With an excellent combat system, semi-open world, an array of bat gadgets, and Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill reprising their roles as Batman and the Joker respectively. The only reason Batman is at number 10 is because, well, he's a comic book first and a game second, but he's still the goddamn Batman. Number 9, Samus. Oh, Samus, what can I say about you? Fast, strong, powerful, beautiful, and one hell of a badass, taking on monsters, mutants, Metroids, and whatever comes in her way. Samus is one of Nintendo's most fierce characters. For one reason or another, she's become a helpless girl who has a man to decide whether or not she gets to use her weapons. Ugh. The reason she's so low on this list, however, is the aforementioned Other M and the fact that she really doesn't have a personality. I mean, say what you want about Other M, but at least she has a distinct personality in that game. Even if that personality went against everything that Samus is supposed to be. A fast, strong, powerful, mute, beautiful badass. But with that said, I would really recommend the Metroid games if you like backtracking. Number 8, Corvo Attano. Side note, personally I don't think Dishonored lived up to all the hype it got, but that's something for another time. The main character of the game Dishonored, Corvo Attano, is truly a badass in every regard. With his rather silly but awesome retractable sword, trusty hand crossbow, and cool powers such as Blink, which is teleportation, Bend Time, Wind Blast, Possession, and others, Corvo is equipped to handle just about any situation. The reason he's lower on this list is sort of the same reason Samus is. He really doesn't have a personality. To an extent. You see, in the game, we do see that he cares for the Princess Emily and the Queen before her assassination, and Emily's kidnapping, which starts off the plot of the game. And he's a silent protagonist, much like Samus before you-know-what. But personally, I'm not a fan of games with silent protagonists. But it's probably for the best that Corvo doesn't talk, unlike someone else who does when they're not supposed to.
The baby, and the baby, or the baby, the baby.
Number 7, Nathan Drake. I was going to put Lara Croft from Uncharted Tomb Raider, but then I thought, wait a minute, I've never played a Tomb Raider game before. So I got the other Ancient Ruins explorer, Nathan Drake. The Uncharted games, developed by Naughty Dog, are for me some of the finest platformers on the PS3. The level design is great, the environment's stunning, and the character's memorable. And the best of the bunch being Nathan Drake, archaeologist, explorer, and ultimate Indiana Jones fanboy. Drake himself isn't on the same level of badassness of some of the characters on this list, but he can still kick some ass, take some names, and find some lost civilizations on his way. Number 6, Ezio. Ah, yes, Ezio. My favorite assassin ancestor from the Assassin's Creed franchise. Yeah, Altair and Connor were badasses in their own right, but for me, Ezio was the badass. Clip of badassness, engage!
Iron shots stuck in my head. The thunder of the drums dictates the rhythm of the fast, a number of days, the rising of the horns. Hey.
That was truly badass. I'm not really going to go in-depth into the Assassin's Creed story because that would take an entirely different video to try to explain, so yeah. More badassness. Go!
From the dawn of time to the end of days, I will have to run away. I want to feel the pain and the bitter taste of the blood on my lips again.
Well, that's it for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2, but in the meantime, here's a sneak peek to help you figure out what's coming up next on the list.